Okay, hello Lunes. So they dropped an animated film or MV for Bewitched. So I am excited to see if this is gonna be like them kind of in a way teasing their own, like, you know, like I mentioned with the Blood Moon Dark Altar, no, Dark Moon Blood Altar like series, if they're gonna get their own, because they do have their story in that as well. So like, oh, like, and then we also know like they are, I think, continuing on with like the webtoon or another section of it. So I'm assuming this is gonna be like them talking or like kind of teasing that a little bit. But I am excited to see like the animation and everything, and like a little bit more like the backstory, because obviously all I know, at least I feel like a lot of Lunes do know because they have read it, and I stopped at a certain point, like I mentioned before. But all I know is that it has to do with or I don't know about like the witch, but in terms of like We on Fire, the whole MV concept is having to do with how Nico's character ends, like, has a girlfriend and she ends up dying or whatever, and like that's like a whole, like, basically essentially the whole thing. I guess she gets lost, passes away during battle or something like that. So I don't know if that's gonna be like a continuation on with that or what, but we're just gonna go ahead and watch, y'all. Yeah, the witch or Dark Moon, yeah. Ooh! Let's see. Black magic. Ooh. I wonder if it's supposed to be Khan, or is it by you? Ooh. Oh. Oh, this is where like first meeting. Oh, it is. I think it is. Oh yeah, I think it is supposed to be. Oh! Oh! Yeah, that's Nico's character. I'm guessing this is like the beast that they end up fighting. Ooh. Oh, I guess they can't look at it in the eye, is what it is. That's why they're all blindfolded. Okay. Ooh, everyone has like their active like weapons from the We on Fire MV too. I think she like sacrifices herself, huh? Oh yeah, because like using her power probably means that she drains like her lifeline or life force. Aww. 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 So yeah, that was Nico's character at the beginning. I guess he had black hair at one point. Oh. Wolves running. Oh. Are they being hunted down? Is that what that was? Because it was a Sunshine City uniform, but oh, okay. So yeah, it definitely gives you a little bit more in depth of like what happened and why, like from the We on Fire MV, like why they're or not even. Yes, I think they are in the right. I'm pretty sure they or the concept film at least, that you see them sitting in front of the in front of her grave, right? So that kind of, I think it's to be a new chapter after like the first set of the webtoon, and then this is like, I guess, Nico meeting like, and his like story of like him falling in love for the first time with someone, and then obviously, like I said, she ended up dying in battle because she kind of essentially like maxed out her power. And again, sometimes, you know, with magical powers, there is that whole trope of like it the more you use it, the more it has to do, it like decreases like your life force. So she kind of maxed it all out and essentially like ends up passing away as a result of trying to like help and save them all. So like it was like quote unquote like sacrifice for them to be able to, you know, live. But again, it's still very sad. And then the fact that they like put this song with this like whole like the whole animation, like it makes sense because it's supposed to be like, again, telling of that whole like moment of whenever they first fall in love with someone like under the full moon, like that's how who they end up loving for life. So I guess that's like they had to like also continue on the story or give us more context from We on Fire, like from like the concept film before they gave us the MV, and then the MV itself where they're battling that monster. And now it makes sense like why they're like going in blind from that era, because again they're also fighting it and they are in the desert and stuff like that. It's like all tying into each other with the lore. So it's interesting kind of getting to see it animated instead, because I know we have seen like other MVs where they have had like animated like things, like for the Chukoya like song, that one was also animated, but it wasn't necessarily like animated in terms of like the characters from the lore, or it might have been, but like not necessarily like as this. But I will say again, if they do decide to give them an anime like they did for the Enhypen one, I do like the art style. So I'm like, please keep this art style, because um the Dark Moon one, I really, really like the art style as well. And because it's exactly very similar to the art style from their webtoon. Well, I did mention a couple of times that the only thing that I didn't like about, because I did like the stories for both, right? But the only thing I didn't like is that they ended up switching artists for the Sunshine City Gray City, or I forgot exactly what the whole title is for Anteam's one is. But like I didn't like that they changed like the style of artist, because I don't know, I just grew accustomed seeing the one from Enhypen, and I think the characters looked really great. And then I didn't like how, I think it might have been a little bit more like sharper and like more like very much more like graphic, like novel-esque vibes for theirs. But I like this artist style. So if they were to do actually actively make the anime for them, which I really hope they do, because it makes sense, because they promote in Japan, like they release a lot of Japan like releases of song wise, like that's their main home ground. I know they are quote unquote global, but it would be weird if they didn't, you know, decide to like make an anime for them, being that most of the members are from Japan and that's where anime is based in. But yeah, I would love it if they kept it in this style of art, because it looks really good. But yeah, I am like sad that the song, like I said, is really like, but I guess it's supposed to represent that like angstiness of like what's going on here, where like he falls in love for the first time, meets her, then she ends up sacrificing herself to save them and him. So I guess that's why it is like angsty and why they're showing it to us. But I'm just like, oh, it's kind of like sad that my like the song that I really like is with this MV is more like a little bit bittersweet and sad, because again he lost someone he cared about and they all lost a friend essentially, right? But I really liked it. I really enjoyed them kind of changing it up a bit and be like, instead of actually doing like an MV, we're gonna do like, again, because it's supposed to be continuing on with like the lore, and they have been teasing this this thing since Going Blind, if not since the era before that. And I'm like, when is this gonna get dropped? Because they keep teasing it at the end of the MVs, and I'm just like, I know the MVs have to do with like the lore and like the webtoon, but when are we gonna actually actively get more of that? Like if it's gonna actually drop? And I guess this is essentially them finally like getting into like actually getting into it, and I'm just like, please, like, so I can start watching, or like start not watching, start reading it again, because I haven't yet. But anyways, I really enjoyed it. I also, like I said, I really am happy that this is like Nico's like story, because like Nico is my bias, and like his character obviously, like, I already forgot what his character's name, not gonna lie. Like, even though like because I really was struggling remembering all 9 of them, and then all 8 or 7 of the Enhypen members' characters as well when I was watching the Dark Moon Blood Altar series. So don't blame me, right? But like, I will say, like I said, like Nico is my bias, so I'm like, I was very happy whenever I saw the We on Fire, or the essentially the like concept film like surrounding like his story, and being like, I was like, oh my god, my man is like getting his like main role essentially, right? Main character role. But anyways, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I shall see you in the next one.